Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, and this week we're joining the challenge that we joined this challenge last year in August. I know a lot of you probably already know about it. Three Rivers Homestead does a challenge every year, and it's called Every Bit Counts Challenge. So you'll see the hashtag, you can click on the hashtag and it takes you to all the other people that are prepping, preparing, freezing, canning, putting something away, storing it, preserving food of some sort or whatever, preserving, all in August, when most people have their gardens flourishing, stuff like that. I do not have a garden, so this does not have to be for gardeny people that have gardens, but I buy, and if you've been following, you know, from Flashfood, I'll buy a box of clearanced vegetables or whatever and then preserve them. I have some meats coming in from fair meat that our work gives us, so I got some of that stuff that'll be coming up this month. Different things like that I'll can, some soups and stews and stuff. So I don't know what I really got planned. I'm just gonna kind of wing it this week and we'll see what I get done. I do work full-time, so when I get home I try to do something. It may be the same thing every day, I'm not gonna lie. Like if I'm doing, I know I'm doing pickles, so if I'm gonna do pickles, it may be 2 days in a row I'm doing pickles, so I may not show you every day, I'll just show you the outcome, you know what I mean? Because I gotta get them going and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think that's it. So let's see what we can get done, and click on the link down below, and click on the hashtag and you'll be able to see all the other people, what they're doing daily. It's supposed to be a daily challenge. Like every day you're supposed to preserve something, whether you dehydrate it, freeze it, freeze dry it, can it, like I said, anything. So we'll see what we can come up with. Cheers. So right now we are going to make like a zesty version of dill pickles. I'm trying to get them where they're even enough. You just want them to be in the jar just right, so they're not too tall for the jar. So I'm just going to cut up a whole bunch of the cucumbers right now. And if you ever had, what are those? It's a zesty pickles from, I can't remember, it's a name brand. Anyway, so I tried to mimic those. It's not totally perfect, but they're still good. So really I'm going to be adding some red pepper flakes to it, a little extra garlic. It's pretty much all I really do differently. And then, yeah, then we're just going to can them up. So I'm just going to cut all my pickles the size for pint jars, and we'll get started. Since I never know how many, on an average it's like 1 cucumber per jar, I guess. You know, unless you got like a mammoth one. So I did a few right now. I'm just going to stuff them as much as I can, and I'm going to stuff my jars and see what I'm at and see if I have to make or cut more cucumbers. I want to get like 5 or 6 pints going, and you want to stuff them as much as you can. Oops, there's 2 in there. And we'll get the air out here eventually, but we're not to that point yet, so just hold on. Okay, so right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pints. I have an empty 6, and I'm gonna take, because I got a lot of these where they were too long to fit in the jars, I'm gonna do them in slices. Even though we don't eat a lot of the slices, I'm still gonna do them in the slices, because we'll eat them on burgers and stuff. So I'm just gonna slice these up, get as much as I can in here, and if not, whatever's left over is gonna go in our lunches this week. So, okay, so I got 1 jar in here. I'm trying to pack as many as I can in here. I still got these little ends, but I'll just do those in another batch at another time. Because I still have 2 cucumbers left. So we got these 2 and then these little bits, but I can make these into, as I'm eating these. Oh, so good. Oh, so good. Anyway, these into sliced up in lunches, so that's what I'll probably do with those. I have 2 left. Not sure what I'm doing with those. If I'm going to can them or if I will just use them in salads this week. Okay, so we're getting this going. Put some canning salt in here. It's vinegar and water. So I think it's like 8 cups of water and about half white vinegar. And then put your canning salt, or I just use regular salt. It's fine. It's good. We're all good. And we're just going to get that warm because the jars are warm. The pickles are, or the cucumbers in the jars. And this is actually going, I'm not totally done filling the jars yet. So that's what we're doing. So in each one of these, I'm going to put just about an equivalent. And you could have done this on the bottom if you want to, before you put the cucumbers in. I just don't. I have more garlic I have to get. But I never know, and I don't want to dirty a jar, right? So I do it this way. But I'll show you these 4 right now. And then I'm going to put in some red pepper flakes. Give them their zest. Their dill. You can use fresh dill. My dill did not go well this year. So we're going to use some dry dill. And then I'll do the other ones, and then we'll get the water on them, the hot water mixture. I also put in a little of this pickle crisp granules. And just, I know my spoon is just a little bit in each one. Helps keep them crispy. I don't really measure it. Okay, so right now we are going to get some juice. I have it over here. It's all heated up, mixed up. Pour that down in there. That might be a little bit too much. Might have to take some out. Gotta get the airs out though, the air bubbles. Do this, and then we are gonna water bath can them for about 15 minutes. Again, I think I put too much in, but that's okay. You just scoop it out, put it to the next. And so yeah, 15 minutes, and I'll have zesty dill pickles. Oops. You know, water everywhere. Gotta cover the tops. We're water bath canning. Close it up. Like I said, 15 minutes. Okay, so today we're gonna do green beans. I have a lot of green beans. I went to Flashfood. So if you don't have a garden, people, don't think this is preserving something every day is because you have a garden. I do not have a garden. I've tried to do gardens in the past. I just don't keep up on them. We're gone a lot on the weekends. I don't know. And my friends and stuff like that, they do gardens, so then I get some of their produce, which I'm forever grateful for. I also get, I just find it easier, I just go to Flashfood and buy clearance veggies, or buy from local farmers or at the farmer's market or something like that. If you feel that you know, you don't have the time or the effort to put into a garden, then don't do it. It's a waste of money if you can't, it's not a waste of money, but it's a waste of money if you can't maintain it and get something out of it. You know what I mean? So I don't. I do flowers. This year I did flowers, a lot of plants, a lot of perennials, and I'm very happy with it. So I'm going to add more next year and more garden flowers so I can cut and make more bouquets. Speaking of, I got to change out the water, but see, this flowers that I grew, and these are like weeds. I don't know what they are. I don't care. They're pretty. And I put them in my vase. So I went to Flashfood. I got, they don't do boxes anymore now, they do bags. And this is a huge bag of green beans. So I will tell you, this is 2 orders combined, but one order was green beans in the bottom with cucumbers on the top, which I did some of the pickles with, and some tomatoes, other things. So it was a mixture, and then a whole bunch of green beans in the bottom, and I didn't know it. So I bought a big bag or another bag of just green beans for $5. So I would say I probably have about $7 in this whole bag of green beans. This whole bag of green beans. It is heavy. So here they are. Aren't they beautiful? I know I already ate a few just the way they were. So I think what I'm gonna do, when I can, I like to can and have not just individual things. Like I don't want just green beans. I want them to be a side because I need quick things if I'm throwing together a steak and I want a quick side with it sometimes if we're busy, stuff like that, you know? So I don't want just individual. I don't want a lot of relishes. I don't want a lot of stuff like that. I don't use that stuff. So I'm not going to can it just because everyone else is canning it or because I have the products to can it, you know, or the ingredients. I'm not going to do that unless I'm actually going to use it. I don't want stuff sitting on my shelf if I'm not going to use it. If you're going to use it, great. Or if you're going to use it as gifts and give it away, remember that, use them as gifts, then great. But I'm not doing all these different relishes and stuff. I think the only one type of thing I do is a corn and tomato jalapeno type, not a relish, it's like, it's a salsa, it's considered a salsa, but that turned out so good last year that I loved, I think it was last year, maybe I made it in January, I don't know, but I put it on eggs with, like on top of our eggs, and what else I put it on something else. For a week we had like a pint, it's not the pint, it's that taller, skinnier jar. Anyway, and I just kept putting it on our eggs in the morning. It was so good, so good. So anyway, but yeah, so if I'm doing canning, it's gonna be like already a dish that I can just, or a soup or a stew or something that I can just pour out into the pan, heat it up, and it's gonna be our lunch, a side dish, a dinner, something like that, besides broth. Maybe broth is probably the only thing, or I've done corn, but I have the salt and pepper in it and stuff like that. But that's about it. Like, I guess I have done green beans just the way they are, but to try them out to see, like they would if you had them frozen or already in a can. But for the most part, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it so something is ready and I can just pop it open and be a convenience food. That's what I want, convenience food. So we are not going to get through this whole bag today. I can tell you that right now. I got a little bit of a late start, had work all day, got home, had to take a little bit of a nap, snuggle with zipper, and now I'm going to get to this, and it's beautiful out, so I want to get outside and water my plants. But I'm going to get this going so then I can go outside and water my plants. So what I'm going to do, I know I talk too much, I'm sorry, is get these cleaned up, get them packed in some pint jars. I don't know, I might get 2 rounds going. I'm going to pretty much do a cold pack, so I'm not going to do hot broth in it or anything like that. I'm going to see if I have any broth in the fridge. If not, I might make some up. I don't know what broth I'm using yet, but I'll tell you when we get going. I'm going to pressure can them for 20 minutes. I am going to put onions in them, and I'm going to put in, I have a whole bunch of this ham. It's pre-cooked ham. And you can use bacon. I was thawing out bacon to do this, and I thought, oh, I'll do another batch with bacon, but I got the ham already ready to go. I'm going to use these little ham cubes, and you can put a certain amount of already pre-cooked meat in a vegetable and still pressure can it for the lower amount of time. You got to read the instructions on it or whatever, but I will forewarn you, sometimes I do a little bit of rebel canning. If it's not for you, I understand, but it works fine for me. So, yes, I'm gonna do a little bit of ham in there, onion, a broth of some sort. I may even use some of my vegetable broth. I don't know. Green beans and probably a little bit of salt and some pepper in there. Oh, and garlic. So that's what I'm gonna put in there. I'm gonna get all the jars ready. They're already clean and sterilized. The lids are clean, or they're fine. Yeah, so let's do this, because the more I talk, the more I'm not gonna do it. So all right, let's get going. You know the drill. Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna start with just putting some garlic in each one of the jars. Now, you just gotta have a small amount. You don't want it to be too much, obviously, because then you'll feel like you need to. I'm just putting like a teaspoon probably in each one. I might put a little bit more on at the end. Not sure. I feel like I shortchanged that little guy. All right. Alright, so at least that stuff's in the bottom. Let me get my pepper. And just a little bit of, we like pepper, so, I mean, you obviously do what you want for your taste as far as seasoning goes. Alright, all that's in there good for right now. Now I'm going to get some, onions chopped and green beans going. Okay, so I got all the green beans in the jars. The ham and stuff on the bottom. I cut them all up. You didn't need to see that, you know how to cut up green beans. I did go and get 2 jars of my veggie broth. I have done that in a video. It's so easy. You just keep all your scraps. So I'm going to keep all my onion scraps. They go in a freezer bag in the freezer, and then which we will be processing some probably in the next video. I don't know if I'll get to it this week or not. But anyway. So I thought these are from March. I'll use a couple of these up if I don't have enough for all this. I don't want to use them all on this, but I can top them off with a little bit of water at the same time. So these are just sitting on the shelf. But right now I'm going to chop up the onion and dabble the onion in there. And if you're wondering, hold on. Yes, I have my onion goggles on so I don't cry and my mascara is not all over my face. All right, let's get back to what we were doing down here. All right, so let's get those open. Find my thing. So I'm only going to do a little bit in each one right now to just use up these. And then I'll add more water and, oh, sorry, my hand's right in the way here. I'm so sorry, you guys. Can you even see? I don't know. I got nothing. I know other people have better displays than I do. Sorry. Just keeping it real. This is what we're doing. This broth smells really good. I highly recommend making your own broth. Alright, so now I can put a little bit more in each one. And then I'll deep bubble a little bit. I gotta add more water just to top them off. Alright, so let's get some water in them. Now, of course, debubble. Have to add a little bit more juice to this one, a little bit more water. And we're going to clean off the rimmies, and then we're going to get them going for 20 minutes. Okay, so we're still working on green beans today. And I wanted to show you, so I put some green beans in the bottom. I have radishes that a friend gave me, so they're all washed, ready. I'm just trying to chop them up, and I'm going to do the green beans, a little bit of radishes, because cooked radishes, if you've never had them, they take on the flavor of what you kind of give them. They kind of become like potatoes. And so in the low carb world, we eat a lot of radishes or turnips and different things like that. So I thought I'll put some radishes in here with the green beans. I'll put some garlic. Trying to think of what else I want to put in here, and then we'll go from there and maybe do some chicken broth or something like that on there. I'm not sure yet, but anyway, I'm trying to get them filled up and chopped up and all that good stuff. So far all I've done are green beans in the bottom and a little bit of radishes I'm going to put in the middle so they kind of look pretty, you know, and I'll probably put more green beans on there. I'll probably put onions in here too. Okay, so now I'm going to put in a little bit of onion, each one, and then I'm just going to top them with more green beans in here. So see so far this is what we're doing here. I'm going to do 2 more jars of this, but for right now, I just want to get these going. I'm going to put some bacon bits that I had in the fridge on top. I already put some pepper in here. Well, I don't want to use all these because I got to use them for the other 2 jars. Okay, perfect. Okay, here we go. It's the first round of beans. Look how good they look. They're all popping. Yummy! Those are the next set that have to go in. To preserve, this is what I'm doing today because I don't have a lot of time and I just got done with work. We're kind of doing a little potlucky thing tomorrow and I thought at work, so I thought, oh, I'll bring a dish. I have blueberries from, if you watched, did I put that video up yet? I can't remember. We went blueberry picking. Shoot, I don't know if I put that up yet. And I think I did. And this is what's left. The rest are all preserved, frozen, and everything. We did that in July. So, so I'm going to use this to do a dump cake. So you need about 3-4 cups blueberries, whatever you have. You can use frozen. Yellow cake mix and probably about, I think it's like a 1/2 cup of butter. You're just going to thinly slice it. So you're going to put these in the pan in a 9x13. Dump this on top and put butter on top and bake it in the oven for 375 for about 40 minutes and it will be done. All right, so they're all in there. Oops, I've got a little stem. Sprinkle this. Oh, I love a yellow cake mix. It smells so good. Okay. Now I'm going to slice up some pats of butter and throw that on. I'm just slicing them up like this. A 1/2 cup is a stick of butter, if you didn't know. Unsalted, but if you have salted, use it. Who cares? Yeah, so it's preserving, but not preserving. You know, I'm using them up. I don't want them to go bad. They've been in the fridge for a while. I will tell you, with fresh berries, man, they last a long time in the fridge. Way faster than, you know, when you get them out of the store and God knows where they came from to begin with and stuff like that. It's nice. All right, so I'm just going to pile them all on here, kind of spacing them out. Turn a little bit so you can see it. Got the oven preheated, or preheating. Should be up to par here shortly. Okay, what's going on here? Perfect. Look at that. So I did it in what? 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20 slices, and it worked out perfectly on a 13 by 9. I think this is 13 by 9. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to get going. I got another minute. I'm going to put it in for about 40-45 minutes. You're just going to test it like you would with any cake, like a toothpick to check for the doneness, and serve it warm. So, hey. Okay, so let's see how the week ended. I will say I forgot to get a after picture of that blueberry cobbler, or the blueberry dump cake. So sorry. I took it to work this morning and oh my God, I even had a little piece of it and it is amazing. And I didn't even, you could serve it warm. I didn't serve it warm and the guys ate it up. Some did heat it up in the microwave, put ice cream with it. It was so good just by itself. I highly recommend the 3-ingredient blueberry dump cake. Okay, so I ended up with 16 pints of zesty pickles. So I did some each day, like a couple days in a row, 2 or 3 days in a row. I also ended up with 5, that's not really a pint, but you know what I mean, like pint-ish of green beans with radishes in them and bacon bits, stuff like that. So as a side, because you know, I said I like to do sides. Oh, 6. Sorry, I got 6 of those. Nope, 5. I can't count. My bad. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pints of green beans with the ham in it, and broth and garlic and stuff like that. So another side. I still have to label all my jars. Some have labels, some are reused. I reuse these as long as the seals look good, so I gotta relabel them. But yeah, there they are, guys. All that done this week. And yeah, pretty happy with that. And you can see I'm starting on another project now for a new video, which is the zucchini. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and you can check out the challenge if you hit on the little hashtag there, Every Bit Counts Challenge, where we try to preserve something. You make it work how you need it to work. Everyone's lives are different. So I can get to something usually every day or every other day, or sometimes in one day I'll do 2 things. You know what I mean? When I get home from work, depends on how much energy I have and stuff like that. So whatever it is. I do want to dehydrate some strawberry leaves. I've done some already, but now I want to do some more. So that'll be one thing, because then you can use it for tea. So excited. I think that's it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I got a lot done. And you know what? If you need to do 4 or 5 things at the end of the week or whatever, I like to do, this is why it works for me, in bits and pieces, because I don't necessarily want to do a huge batch all day long of canning tomatoes or canning this or canning that. It's just not my thing. I like to do in little bits and pieces, so it works for me. When I get home from work, I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get these all processed, throw them in the canner, get that done. I can clean the kitchen, do this and that and that, and then have the rest of my night. And then the next day, do it again. So this really works for me. So hopefully you enjoyed this challenge video, and I will see you soon with some more preserving. Cheers.